Hey, Chadi Bazzi here, and welcome to another episode of the Top Listing Agent Show. Today, what we're going to talk about is how to overcome the fear of prospecting. I said that negative word that everyone hates, and that is prospecting. But on the flip side, it's a word that some people absolutely love. Now, think about someone in your office, maybe someone in your marketplace, or maybe someone that virtually online who absolutely is always talking about, hey, I picked up the phone, I made some phone calls, I set some appointments, I took a listing, and they're making sales and they're knocking it out the park, and they make it look like it's a freaking damn piece of cake. And you're thinking to yourself, how come I can't get myself to do it? Maybe you've subscribed in the past to like RedX, Vulcan 7, or one of those services that give you a bunch of for sale by owner and expired numbers. And you got excited about doing it. You picked up the phone. You encountered a quick challenge, a quick obstacle, a quick setback, and you said, oh my God, this stuff doesn't work for me, etc. Maybe you've been given a script and you looked at the script and you're like, oh, I can't say that. That doesn't fit my personality. That doesn't fit my sales style, etc. I can never get myself to do it. And you just freaking gave up on it. But you see other people making a killing as a result of perfecting the art of prospecting. So this video is specifically designed for the people that know, like they've already identified that if they can just overcome that fear, if they can just pick up the phone, if they can just make those calls, they will begin to do more business. Just need the help to overcome that fear. So after having been on over 30,000 one-on-one coaching sessions, over 20 years in the industry, I've been able to help, I'd say over 1,000 people break this fear. But before we talk about how to break the fear, which I'm going to show you exactly how to do it, I'm going to give you a 3-step process on how to overcome that fear. Let's talk about, what are the main reasons that create this fear, this monster in your head that prevents you from doing the thing that you know that if you can actually get yourself to do it, it will quantum leap your business. So look, if you've already made up your mind that prospecting is something that you don't want to do, you can just turn off this episode and go on to another one of my episodes or another episode of someone else and listen to the topic that you want. But if you are someone who absolutely wants to have that breakthrough, then pay attention to what I'm about to share with you. Now, the number one reason that creates this fear is neuroassociation. Let me explain what neuroassociation is. Neuroassociation is basically, neuro represents the mind. Association is what you are associating whatever story or whatever words or beliefs to it. So when you think of the word prospecting, what does the word prospecting equal for you? Now think about that for a moment. Usually when I begin working with people and I say, hey, what is prospecting, the word prospecting or the prospecting activity equal for you in your mind? And they begin to tell me what they associate that word to. And immediately they're like, rejection. And that's the big one, is rejection, or it will not work for me, or it's just not my style, etc. And what I want you to consider is that there is no evidence, of those three other than the story that you made up in your mind that you bought into that is stopping you from actually taking on that activity. So the first thing that we need to do, which is, the solution, we gave you what the problem is, the solution is, we got to change the story. Now, if you ask a top producing agent who's actually picking up the phones and making phone calls and you say, hey, what does the word prospecting mean for you? They instantly say things like ATM machine, more appointments, more vacations, more sellers, less buyers, more control of the marketplace, more wealth, more opportunity, more joy, freedom, etc. Now, do you see like the neuroassociation of a person who is stuck in fear mode and not actually doing it versus the person that's actually doing it and succeeding wildly at it? Now, I'll tell you right now, 9 out of 10 times, that person that's describing, their prospecting world as a world of abundance used to or may have been in your shoes at one time. And the way that they broke through it is they changed the story. So what do I want you to do? I want you to write down that question. And the question is, what if, keywords, what if I'm able to break through this fear? What if I'm able to break through this fear of prospecting? What will my business look like? So if I break through my fear of prospecting, what will my business look like? Will you be setting more appointments? Will you be going on more appointments? Would you be taking more listings? Would you be able to build a team? Would you be able to have more consistency? Would you be able to become debt free? Would you be able to have more freedom? Have more experiences? I want you to answer that question not only in your mind, but with pen and paper. I want you to do this like your life and your business actually depended on it. And then after you write down the answer to the question, I want you to take a look at it, okay? And I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to imagine all these things becoming a reality as a result of you breaking that fear, okay? And I get that, going through, change, it's an uncomfortable territory. And you've heard everyone say, get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because the place of being uncomfortable is the place where your breakthrough resides. Your breakthrough is hidden on the other side of all the things that you are resisting. Okay, so do you absolutely want to overcome that fear? If you do, you gotta change the story in your mind. Look, one of my mentors, and I keep bringing this up because it's so important, a long time ago said, hey, what is the difference between an average person and a successful person? The average person believes he or she is average, therefore they act accordingly. The above average person believes he or she is above average, therefore they act accordingly. The key word is belief. Okay, what is belief? It's a story that you made up and or heard and or something that you experienced before that you turned into your reality because you bought into it. And that becomes a limiting belief. So we got to crush that belief. And the first and best way to do that is to change the story. Now, the second reason that people don't, that stops people from, like prospecting and keeps them in fear mode is the lack of desire. The lack of desire to break through. You can't tell me that, if you're a person that's driven, if you're a person that's hungry, if you're a person that has the desire to grow, to do more business, then you're the kind of person that will do whatever it takes. So if you're not doing whatever it takes to pick up the freaking damn phone and make those phone calls, then you're lacking the desire. Your desire is not strong enough. So what is the solution? The solution is to get clear on the why. Get clear on the why you must break through that fear. And we talked about it in step number 1 by changing the story. Like doing this equals what? So if I ask you, hey, what are your goals? And I'm not talking about just your income goal. And I'm not talking about your transaction goal. I'm talking about what are the transactions and the income is ultimately going to do for you? Like you say, hey, I want to earn $200,000 this year. Well, hey, what is $200,000 going to do for you? You say it's going to give me a better quality of life. And I'll say, hey, explain, tell me more about that. And you're like, well, I'd be able to finally buy that Mercedes or that BMW or that car. I'd be able to upgrade the kitchen for my wife. I'd be able to buy a home for my family. I'd be able to take my family on a vacation. I'd be able to contribute to, the people I love and my community, etc. Whatever it is for you, I'd be able to buy that watch, change my wardrobe, whatever it is for you. My question to you is, what if you actually picked up the phone? What if you actually picked up the phone? What if you actually broke through that fear? Would you be able to have all these things faster? Because I'm telling you right now, the majority of the people that have these goals don't ever reach them. Or if they do, they don't reach them in the time frame that they think that they could. Like, hey, think about back in December, 6, 7, 8 months ago. You were excited about this year. You set a big goal. You thought you had a big why. And I'm telling you right now, based on the people I'm speaking to, a lot of people are not on track to reach any of these goals. You're lacking the desire. See, the desire, when you have the desire, you don't need accountability. When you have the desire, you don't need anyone to tell you what to do. You know what to do, and you freaking damn pick up the phone and you freaking damn do it every single day. So am I preaching you picking up the phone? Yes, I am preaching you picking up the phone, because the phone has been the best tool for lead generation since I got into this industry. Way back then in the 90s, in the 2000s, and even today, the people that are crushing it are the people that are picking up the phone and making the phone calls. There are sellers in your marketplace right now that want to sell their home. Call them expireds, call them for sale by owners, call them whatever. They're sellers. It's your job to go out there and find them. And he or she that digs the most amount of dirt finds the most amount of gold. So become a gold digger. And the way to do that is to level up your desire and change the story in your head. Now, the third big major reason that people cannot overcome that fear is because they don't know what to say, they don't know when to say it, and they don't know how to say it. So what they do is they turn to Google or YouTube and their broker, maybe other agents, and they go out there and they download a bunch of scripts, thinking that the script is going to be the solution. It's part of the solution, but not the whole entire solution. Because 9 out of 10 people I speak to, they say, hey, I got this person's scripts, and I got that person's scripts, and I got that person's scripts. And I read the script, and I ask people questions. Like, I try to use the script. I ask sellers or buyers questions, and they give me an answer that has nothing to do with what's on the script. And or they take a look at the script and they say, oh, this doesn't fit my personality. I could never say that. This is not my sales style. I can't do that. Therefore, they say this script doesn't work, and they put it down, and they stop the activity altogether. So I'm telling you right now, begin with the script. Begin with the script, any one script. It doesn't matter whose script you begin with. Let that script just serve as a foundation. So you got to master the script. And there's a 3-step process that we go through in my Listing on Demand training called Dream Scripts. And basically, step number 1 is to memorize the script. Whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter. Memorize the script. Step number 2, internalize the script. And number 3, personalize the script. Okay, personalize it to your personality and your sales style. So look, the bottom line is, if you want to go to the next level, can you do it without picking up the phones? Absolutely. If you got a good marketing budget and you got a good work ethic, and you have the desire and you're willing to do whatever it takes, and you go out there and you work 10, 12, 13, 14 hours a day, or whatever amount of hours you want to work, can you do it? Yes. Can you do it faster if you actually identified who are the sellers in your marketplace and you actually picked up the phone and called them? 100%. I don't know, I think about 6, 7, 8 years ago, I had a gentleman out of Chicago, and we took him from 3 deals to over 100 deals in a matter of a 12-month period by utilizing the phones. Now, I'll tell you right now, for somebody like that, they don't need to pick up the phone ever again for the rest of their life, because they've built a healthy business to where they now have, an extreme amount of cash flow to where they can reinvest that money in other lead generation methods, so they don't have to pick up the phone. But as a result of that, they equip themselves with a very strong skill set. So it doesn't matter where the lead is coming from. They have better odds at converting the leads because they know what to say, they know when to say it, they know how to say it, they have the desire, and they have the mentality, the neuroassociation that this is a piece of cake and they can get it done. So what do I want you to do? Again, number 1, change the story. Like, invent a story and buy into it. Hey, prospecting for me equals, and make up something nice. Prospecting for me equals more listing appointments, more listings taken, more sales, consistent income, vacations, new home, new car, new experiences. Change the story. And then what I want you to do is I want you to grab whatever scripts you need. And I'll tell you what the most important script is. It's your listing presentation script. So guys, we're going to leave it at that for today. This is how you overcome the fear of prospecting. But let's go a little step further. Some people say, what about accountability? That helps. That helps. But when you have the desire, you don't need the accountability. So level up your desire, get rid of accountability, hold yourself accountable. So I know some of you out there are probably thinking to yourself, easier said than done. Yeah, I agree with you. Easier said than done. Done requires you getting out of your head and you getting into your action. So don't think your way to it, act your way to it. Okay, and play the what if game. What if I actually do this? Look, maybe the first time you do it, you may hit the jackpot and it may work out for you. It happens sometimes, but it doesn't happen very often. Maybe you're going to be like this gentleman I worked with. His name is, we'll call him MG, out of San Diego. For him, it took well over probably 1,000 contacts in order for him to have his big breakthroughs. And like inside of his first year of selling real estate, he was able to earn, I think, maybe a little bit under $100,000. And I'll tell you right now, it's his second year. He's definitely a six-figure earner, strictly from picking up the phones and making phone calls. Look, another person I was working with, I asked her, hey, when you first got involved in real estate, how did you generate the business? She's like, oh, I used to pick up the phone and call for sale by owners and expireds. And I was like, well, you're kind of struggling in your business right now. What's going on? She goes, I'm not calling for sale by owners and expireds. I was like, okay, well, let's get back on the phones and call for sale by owners and expireds. Do you know what to say? She's like, yeah. And I was like, are you going to do it? Do you need accountability? She's like, no, now I know, like I've been reminded that that's exactly what I got to do. She went out there and took 16 listings in the first 16 weeks of getting back on the phones. So look, what is your experience going to be like? I don't know. All I know is that if you stick to it and you do the work, your experience is going to be a lot better than it is right now. With that said, have an amazing day, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Top Listing Agent Show. Take care.